So we're doing book prompts, but of course, depending on what it is, we're making it audio. Let's see what we've got, shall we? It's been a day, so that is about a student or a teacher. How about a student with a teacher? I mean, if we're going to go for it, we might as well go for it. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing a twofer. Voyeur and teacher. Because it never specified what type of teacher, right? So firstly, let's just, transparency always. I did Voyeur as an ARC, loved it, and I'd already done one book prior to that. But this is a book that I connected with Fiona on, that built a friendship and then a working relationship. And teacher, I edited and did the audio casting, helped with for both of them. So that's that disclaimer. But I stand by everything I'm about to say, regardless or not that I worked on them. So Voyeur, you have Callum, who is a professor. He has some trauma in his life. He isn't one for physical contact, so he goes to a club which caters to allow people to watch their sexual fantasies without participating. They just get to either be in the room or behind a screen or in a separate room with a glass partition to watch it play out. And one of the entertainers is one of his students, Oakland, and literally her name is this second just popped into my brain because I was like, oh my god, I've forgotten her name, like what is it? It just popped into my brain. Is struggling to make ends meet. Family have used her college tuition. She's like, what am I going to do? And her best friend is like, my uncle owns this Mexi club, like why don't you be one of the performers? And so she goes and is one of the performers, and they realise, there's this connection there, and it's filled with angst because Fiona does that very well, and there's some really smexy times that you don't want to miss, and some heartwarming scenes, and it's a must. Then we move on to teacher. So teacher technically it is the last book in the series. We are introduced to both Daniel and Hannah in previous books. So Daniel owns the club, and Hannah, we find out her story in Saviour, which is I think book 3 in the series, when the hero of that story, Eric, is talking about his past and that he had sisters that were sex trafficked, and one of them survived and one of them didn't. Hannah obviously is the one that survived, and then we also see her in another where she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but I understand people going into that book and seeing her as like the bad guy if they hadn't done the other books, but like how you can know her history and like not figure out like she's gonna be riddled with trauma, like what do you expect? But going into this, she's wanting to own herself, her body, her sexuality. She wants to reclaim it, and who better than Daniel to teach her? And so as her friend, he says, I will do again, filled with angst, filled with spicy times, and it's just handled so well. Audiobook, so Voya is Yvonne Sin and Edward Thomas, and teacher is Ava Erickson and Brian Polino. The duo that did teacher also do Liar, which is a book before this. Now these are standalones, you don't have to do all of them. It just gives you more of a rounded idea of the characters if you've done the books that come before them, but you get their full story if you do just like teacher. You know exactly what happens to Hannah in her book. And so in Liar, Brian and Ava had done that book, and they did such an incredible job that when it came to teacher, we were like, who were going to cast? And we were like, it's got to be. Knowing the subject matter, knowing the performances they gave, we were like, no brainer. And they were phenomenal. And for anybody that does listen and is like, oh my god, I need more, Ava, obviously you can still find books by her, and as far as I'm aware is still recording. Brian, you will find books from the past, but you won't find anything new. Unfortunately, Brian is no longer with us. And Yvonne Sin and Edward Thomas, as far as I know, are both still recording, and when it came to casting them, it was done with a production company, and when they suggested them to us, we listened to them and we were just like, sold. These are great voices for these characters, and we really felt they really got that like angst factor, but also the sexy factor. And yeah, these two books, for sure, if you are looking for something that has the teacher-student vibe, whether it's an actual professor and a student, or somebody that is just teaching somebody, definitely, you should definitely check them out. I mean, if you haven't read Fiona Cole yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life, I'll be honest, because queen of angst and spice. I eat it up. I mean, I work on it and I eat it up. Like, I'm just like, when's the next book? When is the next book? Like, come on now. And I actually just did a re-listen of the Blame It on the Alcohol series audiobooks, which is a 3, I don't like to call it a trilogy because you don't need to read all 3 of them. I just did all 3 of them because why not? And I'm like, is this weird? Is this weird that I worked on these books and I'm choosing to listen to them? I don't think it is, because they're good books and you should check them out. And this is turned into a sales pitch, which was not what this was supposed to be. Anyway, audiobooks, check them out. Voya and Teacher, but the entire series is fantastic. And if you want details on the other books in this series, I can definitely do that for you and tell you about the other narrators who are also awesome. Another has 3 narrators, and all of the books are dual narration, just so you know.